Hi everyone, it's Darlene Corbett again, the UnStuck expert, and I thought today we would finish on uniqueness. I thought more about uniqueness and how there's sometimes other extenuating circumstances that make us feel less than and get us in trouble with not being able to tap into our uniqueness. Sometimes people are born in families where one family member may, at least physically, have more perfection in their symmetry than others. Years ago, I had this colleague peer, I'll just say. We didn't go to school together, but we interned somewhere at one time. She was in a bigger family, and she told me that she didn't feel as good in her family because her sister was beautiful. She was attractive, but her sister was stunning. And it made her feel bad. It had an impact on her. She continued to aspire and do well. And I lost touch with her shortly after. This is way back in my early 20s. But you wonder when the message is that this person is the star, at least outwardly, and you are diminished a bit, how that impacts you. So you have to work harder to tap into your uniqueness. The world is full of unfairness. Now, everyone has perfect symmetry, as I've said, or perfect bodies, or wealth, or fame. And even fame, that's fleeting at times. And that can also be a double-edged sword, especially if someone becomes famous too soon, too young. It has very often negative ramifications. But sometimes it's hard to push through and allow your uniqueness to shine through because you don't feel it. You feel other people around you have more. Some people receive those messages, during adolescence. They have that gawky stage or that awkward stage, that ugly duckling before the beautiful swan, where they have to remind themselves, and that's easier said than done. And hopefully their family members do, or their parents do, that eventually you will come. You're a star in our homes, like one of my clients said years ago. And remind them that they're beautiful inside. They don't have to say inside because they don't need to hear that, but that they're beautiful people. And that's what's really most important. Because let's face it, beauty is skin deep, right? Eventually, all that beauty is shifted slightly. It's the youthful bloom wears off. And yes, there's something to be said about beauty later in life, and that is physically, I'm talking about. But the inner beauty shines through all the days of our life, if we allow it. The confidence has to come through to recognize, yes, you may not have that perfect symmetry that your sister does, but you have something that you feel beautiful. And sometimes people, as I said in one of my earlier videos, people that feel beautiful exude that. And so they exude it to other people who see them the same way. That is the beauty of being beautiful, is tapping into that unique you, which confidence can help you do. The unique you of recognizing your inner beauty and how it can shine through. People see people differently. Many people recall years ago the movie American Beauty. If you don't, that's the movie with Annette Bening, Kevin Spacey, Chris Cooper. But the real point I want to make is about the beautiful cheerleader. I think her name was Myra Savini. I forget, Mira Sawani, I don't remember her name, but she was adorable. She was blonde and cheerleader. And then there was this kind of dark-haired young woman, understated, not getting the attention the cheerleader did. Well, there was a young man, I'll never forget this, in the movie that said, I think you're the one. I think you're special. He didn't say those words, but he let her know the cheerleader, the flashier, more adorable, vivacious young woman wasn't his type. It was the understated, dark-haired woman that was in the shadows. You don't always know. I'll never forget, even long, long ago, I worked in this corporation in between social work jobs. This is very funny, but it's really not funny, because I shouldn't have known this, but I did. I worked temporarily as an assistant, and there was another assistant who knew all the men. A lot of the men, it was much more male-dominated. And there were a few women, and there was one woman, she was stunning, I remember. She had beautiful blue eyes and dark skin, and she was really quite the person with the more, what I thought was perfect symmetry. Not quite perfect, but very, very exotic looking. Well, this other assistant knew all the secrets of the male fantasies. And she said, no, they didn't think she was. They thought she was attractive, but not in a, I don't know, they said something that wasn't a very honorable way to say it. Nothing mean, but something that wasn't, I was surprised, quite frankly. That wasn't becoming, that wasn't complimentary. But she told me she knew her boss, his fantasies, and who he liked. It's like laughing because I still am laughing to this day. You just don't know what appeals to people. What your uniqueness and how it may appeal to someone else. He had these fantasies with these two women that really looked like, very plain, very unusual. And the reason why I say this, they didn't look like they'd be his type. He was this kind of like very handsome in a very waspy way. And he had fantasies of these very plain looking women, very nice, adorable in their own way, I guess. But they weren't lookers. If you have to call somebody a looker, like some of the other men would say, wow, she's stunning. Attractive in a kind of a wholesome way. You just would not have thought that. And I loved one of them. I really liked. She was a doll. She was very friendly. And the other one I didn't know well, but they were cute. They were, like I said, bubbly, not even bubbly, wholesome, but you would never have thought that would have been his type. He saw their uniqueness. He had this idea to be on a date with one of them. He saw their uniqueness. That was what he saw. We're unique to different people in different ways. Children are unique to their parents. You see a parent fall in love with a baby, even when it's not physically perfect, so we say, they fall in love. That's what you want. You want them to fall in love. They see their uniqueness. As we get older, more superficial people will only look at looks and see the uniqueness of the looks. But again, beauty dies, fades. I don't want to say it dies, but it fades. The true uniqueness comes from within. And what somebody finds appealing in one person, somebody finds appealing in another. I saw long ago a lovely couple. She was attractive. He was attractive. They had some struggles. She was more introverted, but he saw it as mysterious. He saw her as mysterious. That's what attracted to him. I think she was just quiet. I'm not sure mysterious was quite the word she would have labeled herself. In any event, they lived a lovely life, and that was that. But the point is, people have different ways of projecting onto people with how they view them. They see people in certain lights that they may not really be, or they see something very appealing about something that someone else about themselves don't always recognize. The most important thing, even if you don't always recognize your uniqueness, is to get in touch with it. Because even if you feel that it may not appeal to someone, what you want to do is embrace it. And if you think you're being the best you can be with your unique gifts, that's what you want to do. You want to be the best you can be. And long ago, those two young women that appealed to this boss of the other woman, I remember one where she was very friendly, very warm, and I suspect that contributed to her attraction to him. They never knew he was attracted to them. Well, even long ago, I was a keeper of the secrets. We don't know. What we must believe is this confidence in being ourselves. And we'll talk more about platinum style authenticity going along. But embrace our uniqueness. Don't try to be someone else. Tap into you. What is unique about you? Don't let people derail it. If you have a more beautiful, a handsome sibling or cousin or friend, okay. What are you going to do? But make the best of you. Don't try to be like them. Be you. Embrace you. It's funny, I'll end on this. There's a show many people saw probably called Say Yes to the Dress. I never watched much of it except when I went to visit a friend on Friday nights, and her other friend would watch it. We used to go over to their dinner, my husband and I, and the men would congregate in one room and we'd congregate there. There was a certain style of dress everybody chose. And I want to say, no. Yes, on some people it looks lovely, very unique and lovely. On others, no. Don't tell them it looks pretty. Just because it's in style doesn't mean it fits well on them. Be unique and elevate your uniqueness. Don't take something that's going to diminish it. And I know that's just symbolic. That's symbolic more of who you are. Don't surround yourself or be something that brings you down. Be you that may be entirely different than the other you, a different dress even. The same dress may not look good on me that looks good on you. So you wear something else that does, maybe something similar, but something different. Sometimes it is, just like on that yes to the dress. Some of those women, beautiful dresses, beautiful on them. Others, no, no, no. They had to find something that would fit their uniqueness. So don't try to be part of the crowd just to be part of the crowd if it's not fitting to you. Try something new. Try something you on you. How about that? All right, everyone. We'll go back to uniqueness. This is going to be an ebb and flow in my video series. Remember, though, begin thinking about your unique gifts. Get in touch with it. It will begin to reset your mindset. It will help you overcome the fear, to be more confident, and to show it even more. Have a lovely weekend. And if you're watching this other than the weekend, well, have a lovely rest of the day. In the meantime, when the teacher is appearing, here I am. How about that? And if you're the student, you will eventually maybe be the teacher too. How about that?